Can Chapo make the next state in the USA out of Mexico? Absolutely, 100%. El Chapo is the most influential person in Latin America to this day. El Chapo is respected by 80%, probably at least, of all Mexicans, even Mexican Americans. Has he done anything bad that he's there's prison for? Absolutely. Hasn't every single president? Hillary had so many people killed. Clinton had so many people killed. Those two were involved in cocaine smuggling and everything you could imagine. Are they in jail? No. So the basis of Chapo becoming president of Mexico and receiving a full pardon from the USA is the fact that he's so influential. He's the only person that could actually unite Mexico and make this happen. And I think that President Trump is going to understand this. Claudia Sheinbaum is the current Mexican president, and her term is 2030. That is the end of her term, and she has no more chances of re-election. But Mexico has suffered under bad presidents for a long time, and their government is really corrupted and really, really bad. It needs to be completely rebuilt. And if they could actually rebuild Mexico as a state of the United States of America, this would help Mexico so much. It would also help the USA. This would be the most powerful land trade we could ever possibly do in American history. And President Trump can make this happen. If he gives El Chapo a full pardon and sends El Chapo back to Mexico to basically start a revolution, get that lady's term ended immediately, which they could do. They could easily get her out of the office. They could do a new re-election, and they could actually elect El Chapo as president of Mexico. And then Chapo can simply sign over the deed to President Trump as an inside deal, and it becomes the 51st, 52nd state, whatever, I lost track. And yes, this is a very strong possibility. El Chapo is the only person in Latin America that could ever pull this off or do this. The lady that is currently president, Claudia, is so scared of the cartel. She's ducking Trump. She's fighting Trump in every way possible. Trump cannot stand her. They are not getting along. Trump doesn't want her in office anymore. She needs to leave office. She's too afraid of the cartel. And there's only one person that could actually end the cartels, and that is El Chapo. If El Chapo was president, there would be no more need for cartels, because basically the government would function totally different. People would get the same wages in Mexico that they get here. So if you make $20 an hour at a factory here, you could also go to Mexico and make $20 an hour at a factory there. That means we're not taking advantage or abusing our neighbors anymore. It makes so much sense. It's like the most humane thing we could ever do as a government is accept Mexico as the next state. And I know that Trump has been debating Greenland, he's been debating Canada, and they've all been laughing at him. They've all been making fun of him. But honestly, those countries aren't nearly as good as Mexico. If we could get the entire continent of Mexico as a state, we would have so much power as the USA to develop armies together, develop militaries together. There'd be no more wage disparity. There'd be no more nothing. There'd be no more crime. There'd be no more cartels, because I promise you, Chapo is a very strong leader. Chapo is very, very influential. He's very strong. He's one of the richest people in the world. And if Chapo was the governor of the state of Mexico, I promise you, the cartel would be over. There would be no more drugs coming from Mexico. There would be no more crime. There'd be no more violence. And all that stuff would be finished. We would have a very good government over there in Mexico. And Chapo is the one person that can do that. So I'm trying to get the message to Donald Trump right now that he is the person. He may be in federal prison. He may be, set up. Some of his stuff is probably set up just like Trump, etc. But you know what? Trump is also supposed to be in prison right now. And guess what? Trump's not. Trump is the president. You can't put him in prison anymore. So if we gave El Chapo a full pardon, that would be the very best thing we could ever do, contingent on the fact that he does win the Mexican elections and he does become the president of Mexico. We could actually make this happen. And if Trump realizes this, this is the best land deal to ever happen in the history of America. This would be the most exciting thing to ever happen. So yeah, Chapo for governor, 2026, Mexico. And Mexico as the new state. I'm 100% for this, and I'm going to be lobbying for El Chapo. I've got a letter going to him right now explaining to him this and explaining to him his next steps of action, how to actually contact President Trump and how to actually make this happen. But I think we've got a very, very strong possibility that everyone else has overlooked. Everyone else has just completely ignored it. But this is the key, guys. All right, this is Wesley Talbot, Florida Prison Consulting, and God bless.